Capcom presents Marvel Comics.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Alright, welcome to another edition of me playing the arcade mode of a fighting game. This time it's one of my favorites, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I'm not quite playing as my A-team. I'm playing as the characters that I like the most. Meaning characters that I like from other games, such as Wesker, Dante, and Frank West.
Dare to believe you can survive.
3 against 3.
Give up your life of crime.
It's do or die.
Wesker and Frank are usually on my teams, but Dante is kind of the odd man out here. I don't usually play as Dante. And again, I just want to stress this. I said this when I did Soul Calibur 2. I am not great at fighting games, so don't, look at this as like, oh, he's doing a lot of things wrong. Because, yeah, I probably am doing a lot of things wrong. I just don't know that I am. Because I'm not, I don't play in tournaments. I don't really play online. I just play for fun. So there's, probably a lot of the stuff in this game that I just don't know about. But I'd say the team that I use usually is, I usually swap out either Wesker or Frank, because I am pretty good at those characters. Jill is usually on my team, and Trish from Devil May Cry. I'm fairly good with Trish. I usually like characters, this is for all fighting games, and I talked about this in Soul Calibur, but I like characters who are fast and good in the air. So that's usually the kinds of characters you're going to see me play as. Yeah, this is a really great game. Not only is the gameplay really fun, but it's chock filled with references from, Capcom and Marvel games. Like, the music is amazing. I love hearing remixes of my favorite games' music, like the Phoenix Wright theme, the, Cornered theme is great in this game.
Please, try harder. This world shall be mine.
And I love having the casts back, like, Frank is TJ Rotolo, Wesker's DC Douglas, Dante's Ruben Langdon. It's all great stuff.
3 against 3.
The slime ball sense is tingling.
It's do or die. Fight!
Another one of my favorite things about this game are the dynamic conversations that can take place. For instance, that was technically kind of a dynamic conversation between Spider-Man and Wesker. Spider-Man will only say, "My slime ball senses are tingling," if Wesker is the one that he's facing. Like, for instance, if I had Frank West out in the front instead of Wesker, Frank would have had a conversation with Spider-Man about photography and how he's better than him. I think also Captain America will say something about covering wars to Frank. So, there's a lot of inside jokes and references in this game. I've actually never played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like the vanilla release, because I knew that they were going to release another version. And honestly, the big reason why I didn't buy it was because I thought that Frank West was going to be in the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because they teased his silhouette in the beginning, but he ended up not being in it. And if you know how big of a Dead Rising fan I am, you know that's a deal breaker right there. Like, yeah, my favorite character of all time, Albert Wesker's in this game.
Again? Why do you guys always go for me?
No Frank West is kind of a deal breaker.
Get ready for the fight of your life.
3 against 3.
You are but a minor annoyance to the sorceress.
It's do or die.
This is one of my favorite levels in the game. It's just visually, I think, one of the most interesting levels. And it is sort of a Mega Man Legends reference, because it's, I think it's the, Bond Wonderland, I think it's called. It's just, you know, there's a whole bunch of serve bots in this level. But yeah, it's a cool level. But here I am kind of trying to play as Dante. I'm not very good with him, so I'm trying to kind of learn the things that he can do right here. Yeah, I'm very glad that they went with, you know, actual Dante instead of the shitty, and that right there, I don't know how I did that. I do not know how I did that. Yeah, if anyone can tell me how I did that, please tell me, so I can try and do it again. But, yeah, I'm glad that they went with, like, actual legitimate Dante instead of the reboot Dante, because no one likes the reboot Dante. He sucks. It just wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't Ruben Langdon. What happens to a Wesker when he gets hit by lightning? The same thing that happens to anything else. That was a terrible joke. Why did you write that? David Hayter wrote that movie. Solid Snake wrote one of the worst jokes of all time. Shame on you.
A new world order is at hand.
Some of these ending things also have some jokes, you know, from other games. I think he'll say something about completely saturating the globe.
Get ready for the fight of your life.
3 against 3.
Who was I supposed to kill again? Doesn't matter.
Ready?
Well, it looks like we're fighting off against Tryhard the character. Well, I guess Deadpool doesn't like the fact that I don't like him as a character, so he's really going after me. Yeah, how many good games have you been in, Deadpool? There's this, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, and then your own shitty game, which was terrible and the worst game I've ever played. Wow, this team really doesn't like the fact that I'm making fun of Deadpool. But yeah, there are 2 Resident Evil type levels. I would have rathered if they were more diverse, because they're both Tri-Cell laboratories. Like, this one's a little more interesting, but I don't know. I definitely like... I would have rathered more diverse Resident Evil levels. And maybe a Dead Rising level, because there's no Dead Rising level. There was one in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, and that was a pretty cool one, but Frank also looked like a zombie himself in that game. That's a really cool move that Dante has. So Dante's one of those that if you can play him well, I think he looks really cool. Because that's how he should look, because he's Dante. There's probably, like, there's still a few characters that I would like to see in this game. Like, I would like to see X in this game. Like, there's no Mega Man. Zero's in it, but not Mega Man. I would love to see Gene from God Hand. I think that's that's a Capcom game. That was made by Clover before they closed. Like, Amaterasu from Okami's in here, but no Gene from God Hand? Come on, Capcom. Yeah, Beautiful Joe's in here, I love that, but I would like to have seen Gene.
You win.
A new world order is at hand.
You've said that about like 3 times already, Wesker. Not that I don't love to hear your beautiful voice, Mr. DC Douglas, but have a little more varied end quotes, please.
This world will soon be mine.
You are no match for MODOK!
Get ready to brawl.
Well, this should be an interesting fight. MODOK, what are you doing? How am I supposed to fight you if you're all the way up there? Wow, the AI is pretty dumb in this game. I mean, if I can beat arcade mode, anyone can. Due to the fact that I'm bad at this game. The Marvel vs. Capcom series is one that I've always been interested in. Like, I'll never understand why these 2 properties specifically, but I had a Dreamcast when I was little, you know, when it first came out, and I had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and that game was amazing. I played that all the time. I was actually gonna do Marvel vs. Capcom 2 before I did this one, but they removed it from the Xbox Live Arcade, which I had already downloaded it from, and I guess it just deletes all copies, which is really dumb. I love Frank's, I don't know what that's called, I guess a power move, but it's great. You can hear Frank West's theme right now, which is a remix of the theme that plays when you fight Adam the Clown, which is really cool. Although I would have rathered his actual theme from the game maybe remixed, because I do like that song a lot better. Yeah, again, Dante has a lot of really cool looking moves. And Captain America has used up his X Factor. I don't like using X Factor, I just don't. I'll use it once or twice in this, but I, for the most part, just don't like using it. And there's another fight I technically shouldn't have won.
Again? Why do you guys always go for me?
The only reason I turned the time limit on to, I think it was like 60 seconds, is because I don't want these going on forever. So you're welcome. But then there's some fights that I kind of shouldn't win.
I don't have time for interferences.
Hey!
Live and let die. Fight! First attack. Frighten you.
Albert Wesker's one weakness, anime catgirls.
Over here.
I don't think you're very kawaii. Ow, why are you hitting me like that? I can see Albert Wesker totally being a weeaboo, saying words like kawaii and stuff. Redfield senpai won't notice me. But yeah, as this is the last fight before the boss. You know, these guys are kind of tough, but they're silly characters to be difficult looking, and I use that at the very wrong time. I just have to say that move really does look like a Sonic the Hedgehog thing. I'm surprised they put Felicia in this. She hasn't been in a game that's been relevant in like forever. Well, I mean, this game's relevant, but... See, Dante has such cool moves. He is fairly stylish, I'll give him that. Although I do wish that his design in this game was based on Devil May Cry 4, because I think his Devil May Cry 4 design will always be my favorite. I've never quite liked his Devil May Cry 3 design. He just, I don't know, put a shirt on. And Super Skull's a little bit of a douchebag. Haha, I beat you by default.
You win.
You'll make a nice test subject.
I do like how if you get beat up enough, Wesker's eyes will be shown and his glasses will break. I always thought that was pretty cool.
You are not unlike an ant fighting the sun.
Learn your place.
Now, I wanted to get a good quote, and that's what that was, which is why this seems kind of weirdly edited. But I love the fact that Galactus comes in and says, "You're not unlike an ant fighting the sun," and Wesker says, "Learn your place." That is hilarious, and that just shows... I'd say that's Wesker in a nutshell. He's just a real big egotist. But this fight is annoying. I hate this. Out of all like fighting games, you know, final bosses, this is the worst by far. I like to try and knock out Doom and Wesker. They're just there to annoy you. They're not there for any reason. If they weren't there, I think this would be really easy. But something else I really wanted to do was I wanted to get Frank West to be the one to defeat Galactus, because I thought that would be funny if Frank West, you know, just a simple photojournalist, saved the entire world from Galactus, you know, the devourer of worlds. I think that would be hilarious. But I couldn't get it to happen. But yeah, I hate Galactus. Galactus is... He's a spammer. He's cheap. He's really annoying. I think I use... I'm eventually going to use... What do you call it? X Factor. Wesker's move there, special move, is the one that's really good because Dante's and Frank's, you can get interrupted during it by Galactus, but Wesker's, you can't really get interrupted that easily. This is what I mean. He is a spammer. He sucks. He's gonna just keep doing that. That too. But Dante is just way too stylish. And that's Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
You win!
You had some impressive moves there.